Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Welcome to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast with James Wilson and Rob Eickhoff.
Semi-seconds in automatic minutes, finishing to diminish the position that was given risen.
Boom.
Boom. All right, so we're back again.
Shit, what episode are we? 42?
42.
I think it's 42.
It's my birthday. That's my age, man. So, all right, we got some synchronicity with me on this one, which is interesting because I feel about as unsynchronized as I can possibly be.
I got a feeling we're going to get maybe some good rants from James today.
Probably are, man.
James is a little fired up. He's a little grumpy.
Yeah.
He's a little grumpier than normal. Usually I would say I'm the grumpier of the grumpy guy duo here, generally.
Dude.
Not today.
No, well, so I just got off the plane last night from Long Beach, and dude, just going out to California and having to deal with that many people is interesting in itself. And statistically, it was funny. I forget who I was listening to, but they were talking about how like there's a mathematical algorithm to how fast you walk and how fast you talk and how many people are in the town that you live in.
Yeah, I've seen that statistic before.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And so you come from a place like this where I purposefully live here because I like the slower pace and not having as many people. And then I get out to Long Beach and I'm just like, you know, walking, fucking power walking everywhere and talking a million miles an hour. And, you know, you got to keep an eye out and got to be a little bit more on your guard when you're walking down the street and make sure you don't walk down the wrong alley and stuff. And yeah, it's
I've spent pretty much zero time in California at all.
No? Yeah?
I've been up skiing in Lake Tahoe. Just spent like a week up there.
Southern California is an interesting place, man.
Yeah, I've never been to Southern. I flew into San Francisco, which is up in Northern California still,
Yeah.
right? And then I was there for a few hours, drove out of there, and that was it. Like, had pretty much zero experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's, you know, down by the ocean, had a little humidity, which I forgot what that feels like every once in a while.
Yeah.
And temperature was nice. I mean, it's a beautiful place. And I had a lot of fun. We're at the Long Beach Convention Center, which is right down there on the water. You know, the Queen Mary 2. I don't know if you remember. Like, yeah, they got like, for some reason, we took an old British cruise ship and turned it into a tourist attraction. So, anyways, that's in Long Beach there.
Okay.
And so yeah.
It seems like that's something you would expect on the East Coast. It's kind of random that they got that on the West Coast.
It's been there for a long time, man.
How's
I remember
that?
that from when I was a kid in the 80s. I don't know why. Random stuff you remember as a kid. But yeah, it's good time. Went to the Perform Better Fitness Conference and met up with some friends. Got to hang out with Dan John.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It was
That's pretty
fun.
cool. That's crazy that you get to hang out with that guy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, hang out, like having drinks and, you know, talking. And yeah, it was a good time. So got to see a bunch of, got to see Mike Boyle. I don't know if you know who he is.
I know the name.
Yeah, he wrote Functional Training for Sport. Like one of the original functional training books. He was the strength coach for the Boston Bruins and the BU hockey team for a long time. But, yeah, a lot of good, you know, just coaches I've made contact with over the years. It's good to see that they still remember who I was and said hi. And it was, met a bunch of new people. But, here's the deal. So, I'm walking around and I see these steel maces sitting over in the corner of one of their big rooms. So the way that it's set up, the conference is, it's on one floor of the Long Beach Convention Center. And so you got two smaller speaking rooms, and so you got two speakers going each hour, and then you've got two like really big rooms where they've got like hands-on demos and things going on. And so in the bigger room, they have a bunch of equipment because they'll bring stuff to sell to people, and they'll give you a discount, and you don't have to pay for shipping and stuff. And so I see all these maces over in one of the corners, and I go over and I look at them, and I was like, Perform Better maces. Like, oh, these are kind of cool. They got like this little flange on the bottom to kind of cup your hand a little bit. And it's like, you know, knurled all the way up. And it feels like it's kind of nice touches, looking looking okay, but I've never heard of Perform Better steel maces. What's going on here? Because I'll go and I'll search, Google search every once in a while, just see what's going on. And so I'm looking through their catalog that I'd gotten as part of the registration shit later that night, and they call them lever bells.
Say what?
Lever bells.
Lever bells.
Lever bells. Yes.
Lever bells.
They have them in the catalog listed as lever bells. Yeah, dude, that was my reaction. I was just,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? I was just like, wait a minute. So
I've heard them called mace bells.
I've heard them called mace bells. I can even go with that because, like, just for the record, everybody's trying to like keep it in the because we have kettlebells, and so it's like we're trying to keep it's like every ancient training tool must be some kind of bell. So we're gonna call it a mace bell. I've heard Indian clubs called club bells.
Yep, same here. Yeah.
So I could even stomach that. It's
a little weird.
It annoys me a little bit, but it's a little lazy and not knowing your nomenclature and stuff or your fucking terms.
Just a fucking steel mace.
But yeah, to call it a lever bell was blowing my mind. Because it's like, dude, everyone knows that if you put a heavy object on the end of a stick, that's called a
mace.
Right? Since the dawn of time, right? So why on earth would you call it a lever bell? Like, you, at least with a mace, lever mace or something, you know what I mean? But keep the word mace in it because it's a mace. It's a fucking mace, man.
Some sort of marketing
dude. They're
got his hands on that, trying to rebrand it.
They don't know what to do with it is the thing. They don't know what it is. They don't know what to do with it. And unfortunately, that's kind of one of my takeaways was like, I love Perform Better because Perform Better was one of the first really good, solid, functional training companies to like, get the equipment out and they put on the summit. And like, 10 years ago, it was cutting edge. But they're kind of like dying off a little bit, like kind of turned into dinosaurs. Like I was there, it was crazy. I showed up and I felt like I was in a time warp, man. I was like, it's all the same people and all the same speakers. They're just almost like 10 years older. Because I was there like 8 years ago and like literally, and it's not that it's bad, but it's just like, I don't know, like there was no there was no heavy clubs, there was no mace. It was just a lot of the same multi-directional speed and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, I don't know, it just seemed like the same stuff. So there was some good talks, but not as many as I was expecting. But the whole lever bell thing like really fucking annoyed me, and I told people like, if anybody calls this a lever bell around me, I'm gonna lose my shit. My shit.
Yeah, that is fucking absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's
absurd. So I actually, they don't know what to do with them is the problem. There was no educational component around it. They were just laying over there in the corner. I was watching people go over there and just like do atrocious shit with it all day. So I actually convinced a couple people. Not smuggled in, but I had some 10-pound Indian clubs that my buddy brought for me. And then we had those maces. And then I had my jiu-jitsu belt. So I was giving like little impromptu fucking workshops to people. Like, dude, let me show you what's up. Yeah. I had one dude over there for like half an hour showing him all the Indian club stuff. He's a guy who runs Fit Ranks. It's it's kind of like a belt ranking system for fitness. It's actually pretty cool, like because they have like kind of these standards, and then you start out at white, and then, you end up at black, and they got the little dog tag, and it's you test for it, and then your workout is scaled based on it. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I actually had a similar idea when I had my facility, but I just didn't take it to the level he did. But anyways, it was he's a mountain biker, so I was talking my propaganda to him over drinks the night before. He's like, oh, you gotta show me some stuff. And I'm like, all right, meet me in the conference room at noon when everybody's cleared out, and we'll fucking go over some stuff. So yeah, but ramping isometrics were a hit. No one had ever heard of them. But you know what I got more than anything? This is the funny thing. This is what I got. I talked to a ton of people. I talked to a lot of people that I knew kind of previously, some other coaches and stuff. And I'm telling them, I'm coming back to them like almost like the dude out of the desert, man. And I'm fucking fired up. I'm like, dude, I've been over the horizon. There's cool shit over there, man. There's steel maces and Indian clubs and this ramping isometric stuff. And the look that I saw in their eye was, dude, we've got this functional fitness thing figured out. And the last thing we need from you is you fucking this up for us. Like, I'm not curious about this right now. I am, like, I don't want to hear about it. And it was really weird because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like when you talk to someone, you can just see the look. And I got that look probably 90% of the time from people when I started talking about this shit. And it was like, wow, like the functional training movement is calcified. It's like, here, grab a kettlebell and do swings and Turkish get-ups and it's functional training, right? It's like, no, man. Like anyways, it was an interesting trip, man.
It is interesting to me. Like, I'm surprised that. I guess part of me is surprised and part of me is not surprised.
I'm not either.
That they're not embracing it.
Yeah.
You know, that they're not seeing that there's other modalities and other ways to do shit,
Well,
man.
it took me a little while to figure it out, right? Because the thing about 10 years ago was the bodybuilding, you know, like functional fitness was like, they were coming up and it was the bodybuilding, the old school crew. They were like, don't tell us what we need to know, you know, and now, you know, that's kind of fallen out of favor. Now the functional fitness thing's on top. Now they don't want to hear something new. Like they're not as open to new ideas and methods and tools because like they have a top position to protect. And unfortunately, a lot of it is centered around the fucking kettlebell. And like,
Which,
that thing's going to be tough to dislodge, man.
I bet you, you know, it took a while for the kettlebell to like infiltrate that world. And now it did, and it's like embedded.
It's synonymous.
Yeah, with functional fitness.
If you tell someone their kettlebell god is dead, like, they don't want to hear it. And I spent a lot of time trying to explain to people why a lot of the shit that they think of as being essential kettlebell exercise, like a Turkish get-up, one, it's not a kettlebell exercise. It was integrated into the kettlebell system. And two, I'll argue with you all day long that a shouldered get-up is far better than a Turkish get-up with a kettlebell. The shoulder, you're not limited by poor shoulder mobility or people that have bad shoulders, and people that have hypermobility can't get away with funky stuff. Like a truly self-limiting Turkish get-up is a shouldered one. I mean, you know, I turned you into a fan of them.
I love them.
Yeah, it's way different. Not that the other one doesn't have value, but people are, when you say Turkish get-up, like, we should be thinking sandbag, ram roller get-up, not Turkish get-up with a fucking kettlebell overhead. Like, that's not as an effective get-up. But we just have these, it's synonymous. The swing. Oh, you want to make somebody faster? Do the swing. You want to lose fat? Do the swing. You want to get better at this? Do the swing. But, you know, you want fucking 20 points on your IQ? Do the swing.
20 points on the IQ. Dude, and that's the thing, like, all you got to do is take those knuckleheads and put 2 Indian clubs in their hand and show them the swing there. There's no argument. You can just shut all the words down.
I
and
know.
say, there's a kettlebell, go do some swings. Okay, and if you want, okay, go grab 2 25-pound clubs and do swings. Good luck. Your grip's gonna, but like, just tell me that that's not a superior movement pattern.
And,
your hands aren't close together, your shoulders are everything.
I know,
like,
man.
There's no, like, take anybody who knows how to like deadlift properly and move properly.
Yeah.
And you have them do kettlebell swings and then Indian club swings. There's no, you can't argue.
Night and day how easy it is for them to execute a good one. Plus the fact you can catch at the top. Like, man, I kept trying to explain this to people, and you, like I said, dude.
Would they just glaze over? They just weren't trying to hear it?
Man, kind of. Like, they weren't, you know what I mean? They weren't arguing, but it was just like, there wasn't that spark of curiosity that I was expecting to see in people's eye when I start telling them, like, dude, I've got a better way. I've got something that's amazing. I got something that weighs 10 pounds and, you know, you can really get great results with a fucking mace. I've got, you know, those clubs are a much better option for one of the hardest exercises to teach your clients. Like, I would say that trainers today spend an inordinate amount of time trying to coach people how to do a goddamn kettlebell swing because it's this fucking holy exercise that's been put on top of this functional training pedestal that everyone has to do. And so you're fucking, you know, spend so much time trying to teach people how to do that god-awful exercise right. And it's like, why? Give them a better exercise. And then you have more time to spend on other stuff. And it is such an unfunctional exercise when you really break it down. Like, it is ridiculous. So, anyways, yeah, that was my big takeaways. I think the functional training world. But that's why, like, Onnit's doing well. Like, they were saying that, you know, a lot, and that was the other thing, like, the attendance was down. There definitely weren't as many people there as there were, like, 8 years ago.
So, what is Perform Better? I mean,
they sell equipment is their primary thing,
okay.
And then they have educational component. That they put out there, and obviously the educational component underpins the equipment side of it, but it's done on a
So it's so it's kind of like an on it.
Yes. On is basically a new age perform better.
They're like a direct competitor.
Direct competitor.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Perform better doesn't have certifications. They'll support people like Mike Boyle has his certification, so they support him with that. But like they do conferences, like these 3-day summits. They do 4 of those a year. They got 1-day workshops. They do. They support a lot of the guys, like the Gray Cook, who's behind the functional movement screen, and just other projects that they're doing. They'll help promote. So that's like the biggest difference is where like On It doesn't do the 3-day conferences, and Perform Better doesn't do certifications. But besides that, it's the same thing for the most part. You have a company that's providing an educational component that helps support an equipment side of things. And so that's literally why they started the On It Academy, was they got those again, when I was there for the Steel Mace certification, I forget who I was talking to, but they said like that was it. Like we had this equipment, we had maces, we had Indian clubs. There was no training systems. No one knows how to use it. You know what they're not going to buy? Shit they don't know how to use.
Exactly.
And so, the whole, one of the big motivators for them to start the On It Academy was to educate people on how to use clubs and maces to obviously grow the market. But it's a good thing. But they were saying that a lot of certifications like the RKC and the Strength First and things that, man, the old RKC pictures of their certifications, it's like a fucking high school basketball gym, bleachers top to bottom filled, and now you're looking at like 20, 25 people. And but then you look at those On It pictures, man, and some of those fucking certifications are packed, and they're dropping $1,000 a piece. And again, some people aren't paying. But even if it's just half, whatever, but they seem to be growing, while this other side and it's like, I don't know, On It would kind of classify themselves as part of the functional training movement, but it's almost like the new school functional training movement. And it's trying to break out a little bit from this calcified, old, kind of hate to use the word dinosaur for something that 10 years ago was like the cutting edge. But yeah, I feel like the kettlebell has really calcified the training, the functional training world. They just figured, we got the kettlebell and that's all we needed. And they just kind of stopped there. And there's far more effective tools.
And and that's just kind of scary to me, the fact that they're willing to like try to rebrand the mace as the lever bell. That just shows their mentality. Like they're stuck in that.
Yes, the bell, and to me, man, that's disrespectful to the spirit of the thing itself, as Musashi would say.
The lever bell. I've
Yeah.
never heard that.
Well, of course you haven't. It's not a thing.
It's a made-up thing.
It's a made-up thing.
The way you looked at me when
no
you
one
said
in the
that.
history of the world has looked at something like that and gone, that's a lever bell. It's like, fucking A, dude.
That's so funny. It's cool.
Marketing was the only reason you'd come up with that name. And it's like, how do we tie this back to the kettlebell? We have to tie this back, and we have to do it in a distinctive way, so that we're trying to create our own terms, so that people are thinking about us with it. It's like, dude, good luck with that. It's like trying to call, everybody calls this Kleenexes, and you're like, we're going to try and create a new term called sneezies. It's like, no. Like, I understand, like, if you squint your eyes and look at it, right? You're like, yeah, I can see how that'd be called a sneezy, but everyone knows it's a goddamn Kleenex. Like, just fucking go with that and teach people how to use a Kleenex properly, you motherfuckers. So... Anyways, man, that really annoyed the shit out of me, that lever bell nonsense. But yeah, one of the presentations, though, was really interesting because it was on odd position strength training. And it was done by the guy, Michel Dalcourt. He was a Canadian, obviously. At least, most people with fancy sounding names like that are. He's the guy behind the Viper. Familiar with that thing? It looks like a rubber log and it had handles in it, and you could, no, it's a training tool. Look it up, Google it.
Do you fill it with?
No. It's just a cylinder, rubber cylinder. But it's kind of an odd lifting thing, and you can use it to get leverage and stuff. Like once I saw him use it, I was like, oh, I kind of see what he's doing with it. It in a lot of ways represents like a log. It's like trying to lift and manipulate and do things with a log, and he's got like some handles on it to make it a little bit easier. But his whole thing was odd position strength training, and it was great because he summed up what I've been trying to explain to people. Because when everyone's like, well, what's the difference between like, you know, maces and kettlebells? You know, it's like, it's hard to explain. Like, man, there is something different about how they feel and what they're doing to my body. It's not the same training effect. And, you know, I'd always tell people like, well, you know, kettlebells and barbells, a lot of traditional weight stuff, they rely on like compression and gravity. It's just pushing down on you. And whereas like maces and Indian clubs is working a lot on leverage and, you know, torque, because the weight's out away from you, and so it's a matter of, you know, it's not being run directly through you, it's the muscles working hard to stabilize it in an odd position, which is different. So that's why like a 10-pound Indian club feels like a 16-kilo kettlebell. And but he was talking about how like your body literally adapts to that kind of stimulus differently. That odd position training, what it does is it encourages the increase of collagen in the tissue, in the fascia and the muscle tissue. And collagen is important for stability. And so as and it's a different way for the body to adapt to a training stimulus, right? Like if you're trying to stabilize things in these odd positions, you need more stability in these odd positions. So it adapts to that by putting more of the stability structure, collagen, into the system to help with that. And that's different than like the compression, like linear movement stuff that you do traditionally with barbells and a lot of the kettlebell stuff. And there you're targeting more the muscle fiber itself. You're trying to like induce the, you know, get the, you know, micro trauma on the muscle fiber, excuse me, like, you know, deplete the glycogen. It's more of, you're trying to directly affect the muscle fiber and its ability to contract. And that is different than the collagen and its ability to stabilize in those positions, right? And so that's like farm boy strength versus gym strength. You know, farm boy is like, you know, hucking bales of hay and doing all this, you know, picking up, you know, baby cows, and, you know, whatever farm boys do these days. They, you know, digging fucking fence post holes, putting, you know, like that kind of stuff. They're not lifting hundreds and hundreds of pounds at any one time, but they're doing a lot of this odd position strength training stuff. And then you get gym guy who's doing lots and lots of this compression based, you know, single movement, you know, type training. And so it's a different kind of strength. And that's where the old like, hey, you know, in the gym, who's going to do better? Well, the gym guy is going to do better. Farm boy is going to do surprisingly well, though. You know, you put him on the farm, and farm boy is going to do better, and gym guy is going to do surprisingly bad. Mm-hmm. But you put him in a fucking on the mat, and you say, okay, slap hands and wrestle. This farm boy all day long, like he's going to have his way with that poor guy. And that is what it is. It's that odd position strength. It's the fact that farm boy, like when you look at your muscles, a lot of them in your shoulders and your hips are shaped like fans. It's because they are designed to take forces from these multi-directional planes and stable, you know, that we're not made to just work in these one planes of movement. And so, and that's where the clubs and the Indian, or the maces and the Indian clubs come in, because they're working on that, you know, torque and leverage strength, which is fundamentally different than your compression contractile strength. And so and that is more applicable to like fucking jiu-jitsu in the real world, that torque and leverage strength and the ability to stabilize odd objects and be strong with them. But, you know, that's why my gym lifts are poop compared to where they used to be. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever had anyone get finished rolling with me and suggest I hit the gym because I needed a little bit more strength.
No.
You know, and so, but that's what it is. Like, as the more I've rolled, the more my strength has gone into this odd position type strength that jiu-jitsu puts you in, and then getting into the maces and Indian clubs to supplement it. Yeah, it's like, yeah. So anyway, but you literally do adapt differently to maces and Indian club training than you do to traditional weight training, which includes most of the lifts that you're doing with kettlebells. I mean, even your kettlebell swings and stuff are in that compression kind of linear pattern model. So yeah, there you go. I'm not saying you can't do it with kettlebells, because that's, I think a creative coach can figure out a way to use any training tool effectively, but it's a matter of what's the best tool for the job. Like there are tools that were designed, and now you realize why. I said this over and over there, trying to explain to people, the mace and the Indian clubs are the only training tools that were purposely designed by a warrior class for the purpose of training the human body for combat. And that's why, because they understood the type of strength that you needed. It also reflected the realities of them having to swing heavy shit around, like maces, not a fucking lever bell.
Going to war with lever bells.
Going to war with lever bells. Hey, maybe the lever bell clan just died out. Maybe they just lost the war.
They lost.
Maybe they've dug up some
old stupid ideas.
Right, some old fucking Mesopotamian script has come up, and we found out about the steel mace, or the mace versus lever bell wars. But anyways, they knew it reflected a reality, but they also instinctively knew that the type of strength that they're building from that kind of training is better and more effective. And it's like if you're not using those tools, like, what the fuck are you training for? Because you're definitely not checking the don't get fucked up or don't fuck people up boxes, at least in my opinion. Not as well as you could. So
I didn't know that, man. That's cool information that, training your body, like when your body realizes it's going to have to be stronger at stabilizing something, it produces more collagen. And that's why using those odd implements, like steel maces and Indian clubs, that's why you feel better. Like
you feel better. You feel like I feel more put together.
Yeah, you feel better. Like
my muscle has a different quality. My body has a different feel with this type of training. But yeah,
you feel better.
Yeah,
you don't feel, I don't know, like smashed and beat up.
Yeah.
After a lot of like real heavy barbell training.
You're just not compressing.
You're not compressed.
Every joint in your body.
Yeah, I think like another good way for me to think about it is, like maces and clubs, you're getting stronger and healthier, but it's kind of taking tension away from the system.
Yeah.
It's like an outlet. You're opening your system up to where heavy kettlebells and barbell training, you're adding tension to the system.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, totally. There's a lot of that where it's just a different thing. It's similar, but it's different enough to your body adapts differently to it, and the way that it adapts is more effective for a lot of what we do. And so that was probably like one of the more interesting talks, and that was on Sunday, which is where they put their new speakers, and over half the people are already gone, and like almost no one showed up to that dude's talk, which was really disappointing because it would have maybe sparked some more interest. But yeah, it was really it was really good to hear him, or like just hear him explain that, because a lot of things clicked in my head that I've been
different ways to say
how to explain it more effectively. So but yeah, that's why that shit's great. That and ramping isometrics, that was one of my big takeaways too. Did
anybody know what you were talking about?
No.
When you brought that up with anybody? Not a single person.
Not a single person.
Oh yeah, I've seen that or heard of that. No.
Nope.
Nothing, huh?
I tried to explain it to him, and it was just, again, like really, it was, just like, okay, sounds cool, isometrics, whatever. It's like, no, you got to check this out, man. So I had a few people, I was carrying around my belt, and I showed a couple people, and I had one dude who was a little bit of a wuss. He was all like, oh, this is cutting into the webbing of my hands and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, give me that fucking back.
Give me that back.
Snatch that back out of here, man. You're not even worthy to hold a jiu-jitsu belt. Even this fucking white belt that I just use for working out. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyways. But no, everybody else was pretty pumped, But yeah, I was the weirdo with the jiu-jitsu belt to whip it out.
Whip it out.
Try it out. I just had him do like the standing chest press. That was like the easiest thing to do. And I had a couple people try the bridge. But that bridge is basically a hip thrust.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Contreras hip thrust, and that was one of the he was there. He presented.
Was he?
Yeah,
the glute guy.
The glute guy.
And that's
his name. The glute guy with the glute lab.
Yeah.
He is a very smart and driven fellow when it comes to the glutes.
The glutes, he is.
And research behind the glutes. And I was pretty much his entire hour was just study after study that he's done on different glute shit.
That dude has gone down. I've heard some interviews with him. He has gone down the rabbit hole with building glutes. Dude.
You know, he trains the Atos team. Or not him personally, but like he oversees the training. Like, you know, he has guys that go over. But yeah, the Atos team has the glute lab train their fighters. So
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
And so he said that, and that's where this thing is from. Brett Contreras invented, it's called the hip circle, I think, or something like that. But he has his version of this bear comple thing that I got. And so, yeah, it's like like fucking, anyways, lets you do like sidewalks and monster walks and stuff like that. So he was saying that he finishes every workout with 3 minutes of this, just different moves. So and he'll vary it up, right? Just, 30 seconds of side to side, then 30 seconds of walking forward and back, then 30 seconds, on the ground doing glute bridges, making sure you're pushing the knees out. So he just got these different moves that work those abductors, abs. So,
I can't never keep them straight.
Yeah.
Abductors are adductors.
I think it's the abductors, the ones that bring the legs out. But he was saying that the guys there at Atos are telling him that it's getting super hard for people to pass their guards because they can't smash their legs together. That their glutes, because your glutes are responsible for that external rotation. And so he was saying that as their legs are as their glutes are getting stronger with that, it's getting harder for people to smash their legs together and get past their guard. So as soon as he said that, I was like, ooh, okay, I'm listening. So there was that, and then the hip thrust, just how it deserves a place in the lower body training pantheon, of your traditional compression-based lifts. Up there with squat and deadlift. I think it needs to be squat, deadlift, hip thrust. It is proven itself through his research to be valuable enough and different enough that if you're not doing it and you're only doing squats and deadlifts, you're missing a big aspect of hip training and really missing out on some big things. But the belted bridge, the ramping isometric belted bridge that we do is simply an isometric
bridge.
It's the hip thrust.
Hip thrust.
Yeah, that's all that it is. And so, because if you think about it, he was just trying to figure out how to add load to the glute bridge, right? And it's hard to do on a flat on the floor because you're having to hold the load up.
He built some sort of contraption for that, right?
He's got a ton of them now.
Yeah. I've been to his website. He's got a website.
Yeah.
I've been to it.
So, but anyways, his whole motivation was figuring out how do you weight the glute bridge. And so anyone who's tried to do a regular glute bridge, you realize as you get heavier, you get limited by how much weight can you hold up and keep on your hips, because as you get up, it wants to roll off on you, which is dangerous. So then you got to get a bench. If you get a bench behind your back, and now when you get up to the top, you're in a table position, so you're less limited. So that was really his motivation, is how do I load the bridge? And so, that's the movement-based way of loading the bridge. You can load it isometrically with the belted bridge that Steve showed us. It's the same goddamn exact thing. It's accomplishing everything the hip thrust is trying to accomplish, but you're doing it, in my opinion, in a much better fashion, because I think that the tension and everything that you're getting is way better. I mean, the glute recruitment is fucking off the charts. So, yeah,
that's cool. He was there.
Yeah, it was. Interesting.
I've actually heard quite a bit of his stuff and listened to it and read a lot of articles and whatnot. And I didn't know he was overseeing the Atos conditioning. That makes sense, man.
I don't know exactly what, maybe the strength side,
right.
I don't know exactly what, but yeah, I think the weight stuff for sure. I didn't know that either. So
yeah, man, learning how to use your glutes most people don't. Most people don't know how to use them.
Right.
Most people don't realize they're using them or not using them. Most people, that's probably what it is. Most people don't even realize they're not using them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. You got to put people into a position where like they have to use them and to help, get them turned back on. Like, I don't know, that whole thing, like the glute amnesia thing, there was some, debate with that. Like, is that a real thing? Because you could take someone who's got quote unquote glute amnesia, right? Like they're not able to fire their hips in a glute bridge. But you put them in a single leg stance and put them in kind of an offset odd position, and that glute's going to fire.
It's going to fire.
It has to. So obviously it can fire. It's just you're trying to get it to fire in a position where it has more of a mechanical advantage. Like that's the problem, is you get into a position like the glute bridge and it has the mechanical advantage is different, so it can get away with not recruiting the glutes, whereas like standing on a single leg with a little bit of an offset odd position, it has no choice, it has to fire. And so I think there was that's I think people overdo the whole glute amnesia thing. It's like, oh, you got glute amnesia.
Yeah, because it sells.
It does.
Yeah, it's easy to sell.
It does. It's like, no, you they're there. You can turn them on. We just got to get them. What we do is got to get your body sequencing this movement better to include the glutes. Because right now it's just passing them over. But you can fire those motherfuckers. Like, don't tell me you can't. Your butt cheeks don't work. They're just not patterning in like they should. So, and that's where some of these the functional training stuff can come in. But yeah, that was an interesting talk. But all I kept taking away from it was like, all right, I gotta start doing more side steps and monster walks and things like that. And I feel pretty good with the ramping glute bridge. Mm-hmm. So just keep doing those.
I go through streaks. Like I'll do those side steps. I'll grab a rubber band, put it around my legs, and do those side steps. And I'll go through streaks to where I'll do that for a few weeks at a time, just part of like my morning mobility routine. Kind of get the blood flowing. I'll throw those in, boom, boom, and then I get away from it for a little while.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna make a commitment, to at least every time I train, like I'm gonna bring this motherfucker with me to Grumpy Guy, and when I work out, I'm gonna get my 3 minutes in of some abductor, whatever, working on my external muscles. So, but yeah, as I was doing it, I was playing around earlier today with it, and I can just feel like, man, they're not as strong as they should be. So it'll definitely be. I was doing I put it around my legs and I did some monster walks while swinging, doing 10 and 2s with my mace.
Nice.
I was like, seeing how I could combine all the shit that I learned.
Combo.
It is a pretty good combo.
It's a good combo.
It is a good combo. But so yeah, I think that was some of my big takeaways. I had the it was a dude there, keto, Robert Yang. He was talking about the keto diet, and the main takeaway from that is that people are fucking overplaying it, overprescribing it, and people that have no business doing it are doing it. And come on, people, like, stop it.
Stop it.
So that was kind of my takeaway from his thing, was that for most people, like, you can accomplish pretty much everything you're looking for with just a good, clean diet that's limiting your sugar and carb intake. Like, you don't have to go freaking keto. You don't have to go extreme. And like, most people aren't going keto, right? Like he was saying,
no, most people aren't.
They don't understand. Like keto's 90% fat and 10% everything else.
And so what, dude? I get fucking pissed off about this. And what really agitates me is that 99% of the people out there that getting your body to switch into like burning fat as opposed to looking for glucose or glycogen or whatever.
Yeah.
It's super hard. There's a big adaptation period. Big. I'm talking like 3 to 6 months. And that's 3 to 6 months of being in fucking ketosis. That doesn't mean you get a goddamn cheat meal once a week.
No.
Because that kicks you out.
Ketosis and then sucks.
Then your adaptation period starts all fucking back over again. That's what people don't... Yeah. They don't understand that, and it fucking drives me insane. Like, no. You You can't just be in ketosis for 5-6 days a week and have a cheat meal, and then you're back in ketosis Monday. Because even if you hit your ketone meter or your piss strips, it shows you got ketones in your blood. That doesn't mean you're like quote unquote fat adapted.
Yeah.
It's not how our body fucking works.
Yeah.
There's a huge transition period, dude. And that's where everybody fucks up. And dude, to be on a strictly keto diet is a very limiting diet. It's not sustainable for most people out there. Very fucking strict.
Yeah.
And your body's not going to switch over, dude. 3 to 6 months. Depending on the person. Think about that. Find me a person who's got the willpower to stay on a strictly keto diet for even 3 months.
Yeah, the ketogenic diet it's a therapeutic diet. Like
Yeah.
the research is on epileptic kids. Like, you know who is willing to do that? Epileptic kids. Like that's what you do. Like, so, you know, he was pointing out that, like, you know, there's the pure ketogenic diet, and then there's what most people are doing, which is kind of an adapted ketogenic diet, which isn't your
which
pure...
is low carb.
Which is low carb, right?
Low carb.
Right. But, like, so here was a couple of the points here, man. I got my notes here. So this was interesting. He was pointing out that, like, if you have GI distress, that it'll inhibit your core musculature. Which, when you think about it, makes sense, but I never really thought about it. I never put 2 and 2 together. You know, if you've got, you know, you're eating something and it's bothering your stomach, like, your core musculature is going to be inhibited. It's just a reflex. So, it's kind of one of those things, like, you know, you always talk about, like, pay attention to how you feel after you eat stuff. Like, if you eat something and you feel gassy and bloated and not good, like, you're not only... You know, it's not good, but you're actually inhibiting your core musculature at that point. So you definitely don't want to be eating something like that and then going in and rolling. Like, rolling with GI distress.
It's terrible.
Well, on many levels. But it was interesting. I just hadn't really thought about, like, oh yeah, so, like, you know, the core musculature is not working. So what did he say? It said that lowering insulin levels is more important than ketone levels. It's not about how high your ketone levels are. It's how low your insulin levels are. And people get that. Again, it's one of those things like, well, duh, but people think that they're correlated. They think that if my ketone levels are high, then my insulin levels are low. But if you're taking exogenous ketones, that's what he was saying, is like you can kind of game the system. People are taking these external ketones, these ketone esters, and then you can, you know, piss and show, yeah, I've got ketones in my blood, but it doesn't mean that your insulin levels are down where they need to be. And so it's really the most important thing is keeping your insulin levels down, not keeping your ketone levels up. And so using a lot of external ketones to try to keep your ketone levels up isn't really doing shit. This was one thing you pointed out that I didn't realize. He said too, like a lot of those ketone esters, especially the pre-workout ones, they have caffeine in them. Which is like, well, no shit, you're going to feel better. It's not the fucking ketones that are giving you energy, right? They're sold as like, oh, you get this ketogenic energy. And it's like, dude, anything, just FYI for everybody listening, if anyone ever claims that anything gives you energy, look at the fucking label. And if it has caffeine, green tea, any other code words for caffeine that those are the two big ones. Like, because green tea is a natural form of it, so you kind of got to watch for that. That'll get sneaky. But if you see caffeine and or green tea in the ingredient list, you can pretty much write off everything else on that fucking list is doing shit for you. It is the caffeine. Like, show me something that doesn't have caffeine in it and gives you some energy and we'll talk. But yeah, if you're taking these fucking ketone ester things, trying to raise your ketone levels because you think it's going to give you energy, like, you're wasting your money. It's the caffeine in it. So that was kind of funny. I hadn't really thought about that. But yeah, man, he was saying it's not really for, definitely not for people with low energy levels or adrenal issues. That they don't need that extra stress on the system. So, which describes, what would you say, 80+% of the population out there? Like, how many people out there right now have low energy levels because of adrenal issues?
I would say at least 80%.
Fucking A, man. Most people. And yeah, so especially if you're doing a hard sport like jiu-jitsu, like, odds are you probably have some sort of adrenal issues that you're dealing with. And so again, it's not, may not be ideal, but yeah, that was his other thing, for like strength and power athletes. You got to look at the athlete and what their needs are. So a lot of the research that's being done and showing like good endurance results from the ketogenic diet are being done on endurance runners. And that's not a strength and power athlete. And so, and I hate to break this to people, but I know that you're breathing hard at the end of a match and the end of a round, but we're strength and power athletes. We're strength and power endurance athletes, right? But we're not endurance athletes. We're not classical endurance athletes. So
matches are 5 minutes long, 8 minutes long, even 10-minute matches. Like it's
still different.
It's different.
Yeah,
you're not running a fucking marathon.
No, the amount of tension, like really, it's the amount of tension required. Running a marathon, very low tension. Doing a jiu-jitsu match, very high tension. How much tension is your body having to fuel? And it fuels tension effectively differently. Like it's able to fuel low levels of constant tension very effectively with fat. It isn't able to fuel that as effectively with high tension, especially high tension short burst efforts. Like it fuels those efforts more efficiently with the ATP, CP, and glycolytic pathways. So, man, it needs those pathways to be working and functioning properly. So what we want is metabolic flexibility. You want to be able to burn fat and sugar for fuel. But yeah, man, but just this keto diet insanity just fucking has to stop.
I think it has. It's kind of dying off. I think, it was the new kid on the block and everybody was excited about it. I think people are starting to come around a little bit, I hope.
Yep.
But I don't know. You don't hear quite as much about it anymore.
Yep.
On that note, are you and I still going to try to be meatitarians for the month of September? Are you still? That was our conversation.
That was our conversation.
Said we were gonna. You brought it up, and I said I wanted to wait until after Worlds.
I know. Yeah.
So September 1st would be our first day of being a meatitarian.
That would be the first day.
I'm game.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, as long as we can eat beef, chicken, fish, any sort of animal.
Yeah.
As long as I can eat any sort of animal, I'm game to see how I feel.
Yeah. Shoots, why not?
What are you kind of poo-poo on the idea now?
No, man. I'm just a pussy when it comes to that stuff.
It was your idea.
I know it was my idea. Well, ideas are great when you're 6 weeks out.
Yeah, they are. We're closing in on it.
Dude, I fucking have all sorts of great ideas that I want to do when I'm 6 weeks out. But
you got 1 week left of not being a meatitarian.
It's hanging out around. We got to talk Kelly into it. Like, dude, my bread addiction.
That sourdough bread's so good.
That's the tough thing for me. So
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to give up that sourdough bread either.
I know. You know what's interesting is tiring is hanging out in Long Beach, because it was just some long nights sometimes just hanging out with people, and like my body feels pretty good. I'm starting to realize that I'm sore because I'm just fucking doing a lot of jiu-jitsu. So it's amazing what a few days off from rolling does for you. So anyways, that was one of my observations. I don't think I have a problem. I don't think I have a nutrition problem. I think I have a fucking jiu-jitsu problem.
I wonder how this is tied in. I was like, wait, I was waiting for the connection.
But no, man.
So for those listening, the original conversation about becoming a meatitarian, James said to me, he's like, I think I'm leaving some money on the table. I get a little tired here or there, jiu-jitsu. Like, I feel like, I don't know, there's just a little, I could get a little extra edge if I cleaned up my diet, or something along those lines. So that's where, like, I want to try being a meatitarian. I'm like, all right, fuck it. But now you're like, I just didn't do jiu-jitsu for a few days and I don't feel like a bag of smashed assholes. I think my diet's okay. Back to the beer and potato chips.
Now you found my weakness. Nah, man, that's why I need you in my life. We'll do it. I'll sign up.
I'm not that excited about it, but we had talked about it, so.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm game to try.
I can do anything for a day.
A week even.
No. I'll give it a few days. See what's going on. First time I don't poop, though. Like, I'm just telling you that.
I got a feeling I'm not going to feel great on it, man. Like, if I really stick to it, no fruit, no fucking veggies. I don't know. I like veggies, dude. I remember the last go, I think I did it in like March. That was going to be like Meat Madness March or some shit. I brought it up.
I remember, yeah.
Dude, I made it like 3 days and I was just like, dude, I need some fucking bok choy or some broccoli. Dude,
right.
I love just getting my frying pan just full of fucking bok choy and like garlic and just having a big old pile of that with some steak. Like, it's so good.
Well, I know, man. But again, you think about like, I know. It's... Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll have to see. I know I like a little fruit, a little carbs.
Yeah, like fruit, man.
Something. It's that. Yeah,
I
like
feel
I always
good.
just say, man, we're strength and power athletes, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like there is some need for that, but who knows? We'll figure it out. You gotta go compete, and then we'll worry about it.
Yep, 2 days from now, man.
2 days.
Be competing.
That's right.
Less than 48 hours, stepping on the mat, see what happens.
Yeah, Masters Worlds.
I'm excited.
Good. Have you looked at who you're going against yet?
Nope.
It's good.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. At this point, can't change it.
Nah.
All I gotta do is go do the best jiu-jitsu I can do.
That's right.
Just see what the fuck happens.
Got a plan?
Win.
Smash. Ah, yes.
There's no fucking plan.
No plan.
Slap hands and do jiu-jitsu, man.
Right. God, I saw something the other day. It was a t-shirt that said, sometimes you don't need a plan, you just need balls.
Just need balls.
There you go.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
You get good jiu-jitsu. Just
I like that.
show up and...
I hate to say it, but that is kind of like, you want to have a plan, but that really...
No,
like,
man.
Going into a competition, balls are fucking going to trump a plan.
Yeah, you can have your go-to moves, like, hey, I want to hit this takedown, you know? Yeah, that's cool. You have your go-to moves from each position. That's about as far as I go with a plan.
Yeah.
Like, I have a go-to move for me, like, I like this takedown specifically, I like this and this. If those don't work, well, fuck it, I gotta find something else.
Yeah.
You can't get into the rut, like, oh, this doesn't work, and just be obsessed over that. Like, you just gotta fucking roll with the punches. Like, oh, this guy's really good at shutting that down. You realize I want to do it? Fucking do something else.
Yeah.
Simple as that, man. It's a fight.
Timing and rhythm.
Yeah, timing and rhythm. Dude, it's a fucking scrap, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not... Like you say, you have your go-tos, but if your go-to gets a little bit thwarted, you have to fucking adapt.
That's where balls come in, baby.
That's where balls come in. Hit the diving Kimura and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm excited, man. I feel good. Like, I trained as hard as I could, you know, with my life schedule. I
Yeah.
didn't puss out on any training sessions.
How was the Pimenta Seminar?
Fucking awesome.
Which I just miss every time he's in town.
But didn't you go up with him to
Yeah.
in Yodo and do a seminar up there?
Yeah.
So you got to...
Yeah, no, I got to see some stuff. I think it was different. He was showing them like some guard pulling and then pulling guard into De La Hiva.
So we did guard passing
Guard passing.
at our seminar.
Yeah,
it was good.
That's what Kelly was saying. I gotta check out the videos. Let's just post them in the
I went through and
page.
rewatched. Like, I took notes during the seminar, and then I actually this morning I went through and watched all those videos again,
Yeah.
and like did legible notes,
Right.
Because you're writing them so fast at the seminar,
Yes.
you know. So I went and actually he showed us basically like 7 passes, variations or whatever. But so yeah, I went through and cleaned up my notes and rewatched the videos. So it's nice. It has some good stuff, man.
Yeah, I gotta practice. Something clicked this time when he was here about leading with the hips and how, like, I mean, if you're gonna posture up, you gotta posture the fuck up. Like, you can't get stuck in no man's land, and it feels weird because when you posture up, you feel like you're breaking all of the rules because you're to posture up really good and get the hips forward. You're really getting off your base and getting tall, and it's a dangerous game but if you can get your hips locked in front of your shoulders, so the hips are leading the action, not your belly button, your hips. And I think that's what's hard, like, because if you can't walk out and get that really good lockout, like at the top of a fucking good swing or a good deadlift or something, and maintain that pressure as you're moving in. And as soon as you lose that and your shoulders start to tip forward, you're in danger. But man, as long as you've got that hip wedge leading your shoulders in, it's really hard to fucking knock your base off. And but you just feel like anytime you start to get tipped, instead of doubling down on getting tall, you want to like shrink down and try to think you're basing back down, and then you get in that no man's land where they can start pulling your, getting your base off center and start fucking your day up.
It is a little counterintuitive.
Yes.
Because you feel like you're getting your base disrupted, so you want to hunker down.
Yes.
And get as low and as small as possible. But it's not really the case in a lot of... I mean, some positions maybe, but but a lot of... Yeah, like posture. Posture and base.
Double down on the hips.
Double down on
forward.
it.
Yeah.
There's something else I picked up I want to show you. It's hard to talk about and explain on here. There's like another little thing I picked up, like a little mechanic thing I was watching him. And I was like, but yeah, dude, training, like... fuck, training with somebody that good. I mean, literally, with no exaggeration or joking aside, like, you know, he's like a Michael Jordan in the jiu-jitsu world.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're a basketball freak, you ever going to get a one-on-one, you know, game going with Michael Jordan, it's not going to fucking happen. It's just not going to happen. But in our sport, it can happen. And we're very fortunate, man, that he comes and trains with us and teaches us. And God damn it, dude. That dude's
He
so
likes
good.
us for some reason.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, too? I think it's on Sunday at Open Mat. Dude, I did like 3 rounds in a row with him. Because I do a round and I didn't want to, like, hog him, so to speak. You know, I want other people to have opportunities to train with him. And it's almost like people were afraid to ask him to roll. And I was like, Professor, let's go. And fucking slap hands and take my ass whooping again. And like, get done, fucking dying. You know, he's not even breathing hard. I don't even know if he's sweating. You know, and I look around, no one's stepping up to roll with him again. Fuck it, let's roll again. Like, God damn, dude, it's so beneficial, man. Like,
yeah.
It's fucking amazing. And then, like, you see me that one night, like, I took a round off just to watch him train with other people. And just watch what he does. And that is so fucking valuable right there. Watching somebody that high a level and what they're doing. Because you can't pick up a lot of things when you're getting your ass whooped.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. But watching him fuck somebody else up.
Seeing how he's shutting them down.
Beautiful.
And what he's doing, yeah.
You learn so much right there, man. Like, yeah. I watched a few rounds with him and a couple of our training partners.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Right.
That's it.
Well, again, you want to see, how does he see jiu-jitsu, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
fundamentally seeing something different. Like, he sees the fight differently. And it's like, okay, what is he seeing that I'm not seeing? Like, and it's like, oh, yeah, like that. Yeah, totally. I know. I'm with you, man. Watching those high-level guys and having him come through especially and just being able to... It's cool with him, too, because there's some consistency. You know, like, the more he comes and the more I see his game, the more I understand what he's trying to teach us. And so, and he's getting better. Like, his game continues to progress, and he's getting better at explaining it and what he's doing. And so, like, beyond just getting a chance to, like, go and have a seminar with him, or, you know, even like, oh, I got, you know, had a seminar with, you know, half a dozen different people. That's great, man. But having Pimenta, I mean, dude, how many times has he come back? And it's got to be like close to 5 or 6 times he's been back.
A couple times
in the last couple of years, yeah. And so, yeah, having him come back and having that consistency of someone at that level coming through and helping us and helping Kevin. Like, Kevin's game has definitely progressed. I mean, I feel Pimenta coming through him.
You know, I was just telling him that today. I was like, here's the deal, man. I was like, when Pimenta's whipping my ass, I was like, there's a little level of grace there. Like, it hurts physically. Like, he'll put the smash on me in certain positions. But it doesn't like hurt. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell he's being sort of nice. Like, if he wanted to, like, fucking make me want to quit jiu-jitsu, he could. You know? But he doesn't. Like, he knows he doesn't have to. When Kevin's whooping my ass, dude, it fucking hurts, man. There's times where it's a schoolyard fight, and he is just straight fucking me up. Like, oh my god, this hurts so bad. But Pimenta's not quite the same. You know, he's like so good, he doesn't quite have to use quite the bully-esque jiu-jitsu.
Well, you're the little brother in the gym there, buddy.
You know what's super beneficial? Like, talking about watching somebody really high level train. So when you watch 2 high level guys train that you've never trained with before, like you're watching a match or something, you can learn some things. Don't get me wrong. But when Pimenta comes through and he's going with one of your training partners, somebody that you train with a lot, and they have certain things that fuck you up, and they give you troubles all the time, and then you get to watch Pimenta just fucking dismantle that. Dude, so beneficial. You know, like that's even leaps and bounds of watching 2 killers go against each other.
Yeah.
Watching, like, you've got firsthand experience with one of your training partners. There's certain things they do, bada, and then you watch Pimenta just fucking pick it apart piece by piece. Oh my god, dude. There's no words can't explain how beneficial that is.
Yeah.
So, you know, just for you guys listening out there, like, if somebody high level comes through your gym, make sure, like, maybe you don't want to take a round off, but I'm telling you, it'll be fucking valuable. If you see this high level dude, about to go with somebody that fucks you up on a regular basis, dude, take that round off, watch it, and take some notes, man. Like, don't let anybody talk to you while it's going on. Like, just fucking watch it. Stare at that for the next 5 to 8 minutes, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And just bring it in, man. Like, it's... Whew. That night we were watching him training with, one of our training partners in particular. And you came up to me, he's like, you want to wrestle? I was like, nope, and get out of my way. I'm watching this. I was like, you're blocking my view, man.
Oh, and then I realized what you were watching, and I was like, I want to watch this too.
I was like, have a seat, man. We're watching this.
I know exactly what you're watching here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's huge, man.
Yeah, it's good. Good having that guy coming around. So
yeah, very fortunate.
For sure. But so yeah, also, what's up?
Oh, I was just saying on another jiu-jitsu note, did you watch any of the Kasai Pro matches?
No, I was going to ask you. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was traveling.
Dude, there was some fucking awesome matches. There's some really good matches. The one I was super hyped about, man, the Craig Jones and...
I heard it just turned into a poop show. I didn't see it, but I heard it wasn't very...
Fucking terrible, dude. The Craig Jones, Paul Harris, the Taquinho match.
Yeah.
He did what... Remember back when... Brendan Schaub had that match against Cyborg in Metamoris. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know Cyborg.
Yeah.
You know Cyborg.
Yeah.
And then you know who Brendan Schaub is?
Yeah, I know exactly both of them.
Fighter and the kid.
Yeah. If I saw it, I'd probably know.
We ended up, the jiu-jitsu community ended up coining the phrase the Schaub shutdown. Because, he just wouldn't, he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
But his jiu-jitsu's nowhere near the level of Cyborg's. And he was just using it as athleticism and just wouldn't engage with him. He would just fucking run away.
I seem to remember that.
So it was there was this known thing as the Schaub shutdown. It's just kind of joking around. He just wouldn't play jiu-jitsu with him. This was the steroid shutdown. This was Paul Harris's fucking steroid shutdown. He wouldn't get off his knees. The whole match, literally all 10 or 15 minutes was Craig Jones basically in butterfly or Z-guard and Paul Harris on his fucking knees. Literally, no exaggeration. That was all 15 fucking minutes. Not a goddamn thing happened. No offensive shit whatsoever. That was so frustrating, dude.
Yeah.
So frustrating, man. Neither one of them would open up and try some shit. Fucking agitating, man.
Yeah.
But besides that, there was some killer matches.
Yeah, that's
and then,
too bad.
Renato Canuto won the welterweight round robin tournament. Him and Wagner Rocha were in the finals.
Oh, right on.
Their match in the finals was kind of boring.
Yeah.
But leading up, there were some badass matches. I don't know if you've watched Renato Canuto at all.
No.
Dude, it's insane. He'll do backflips to pass people's open guard. Just backflip to a guillotine. The dude's just reckless. So good. Just doesn't give a fuck. He's so confident in his skills. He'll just try some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking fun to watch, man. And of course, Wagner Rocha is one of my favorites. I love that guy's game. It's just so gnarly.
Yeah.
He tapped some dude out with a wrist lock from standing.
Saw that.
The dude was all pissed off. They interlaced fingers, and he just turned his hand over and pressed it in. It's not like he was grabbing fingers and twisting fingers. It was just totally legit.
I saw something on Instagram or whatever, a video that the dude looked
He was all whining
bitter.
and bitching, yeah.
Yeah, what is this?
Get your fucking hand out of there, man.
Dude,
It's a wrist lock.
Tap, bro.
Tap.
Yeah.
Fucking do something.
Yeah. It's hard to wrestle with a broken wrist.
There was some good matches, man. Like that, because that PJ Barch was in that tournament.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I like watching him, man.
Yeah, me too. I really like his style too.
Because he doesn't have, he's with the 10th Planet team, but he's a D1 wrestler.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really wrestle doesn't do 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. He does, but it's not your typical Boogie or Geo style.
Yeah.
It's more of the style I like fucking hardcore wrestling.
He likes the top position.
Yeah.
He'll fight for it.
Yeah, he'll fight for the top position, good takedowns. So his match, anytime he's in a match, dude, I like watching his matches.
I've seen a couple of his. I like his stuff, but yeah, I just saw the next day some of the reactions and stuff on the old social medias.
I'll have to give you my Flow Grappling login so you can watch.
Yeah, well, add it to my
matches.
list of shit that I won't watch.
No, there's some matches.
No, I want to, man. I just got so much shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
it's
know exactly what you
my
mean.
list of stuff that I need to read, watch, do, all that. But dude, speaking of which, I forget if I've asked you before. Have you seen that Wild Wild Country documentary on Netflix?
The Colt?
Yeah.
That took over that town in Oregon or some shit?
Yeah.
I got a couple episodes in, and again, there's just so much shit to watch. I haven't.
Dude, you stopped one episode too short.
Really?
Yeah. You get to about halfway through episode 3 and into episode 4, it's like, what the fuck?
I keep meaning to go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
because the first couple episodes, you're kind of on Team Red. You're kind of like, all right, they're a little weird, but, you know, these people are just a little, you know, paranoid in their upright, you know, conservative Christian ways and stuff. But, yeah, there was some hanky-panky going on there, for sure. They got fucking weird. But, yeah, that's what I would went back and would watch an episode of that before I went to sleep.
Is that something you should be watching before you go to sleep?
I don't know,
Give you
man.
some fucked up
Slept
dreams.
all right, dude. But yeah, it was insane. But the interesting thing is I didn't realize the antelope is where Bill Bowerman is from, and Bill Bowerman was the head track coach at Oregon and the guy behind the Waffle Soul and the co-founder of Nike.
Say that connection again?
Antelope,
Okay.
the town, the
Yep.
little town
Yep,
of 40
know that.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Antelope, Oregon.
Yeah.
Was actually founded by his grandfather or something like that, by Bill Bowerman's grandfather, but whatever. Bill Bowerman was the head track coach at Oregon,
Right.
and he was like the coach of, like, you know, Prefontaine and you know, all those famous Oregon track teams. And Phil Knight was one of his athletes that approached him with this. Anyways, it's a convoluted story how it became Nike, but yeah, you know, approached him to come on board with the shoe company. And so yeah, he was one of the co-founders, and he's the guy who had the famous waffle iron, pouring the rubber in to get the different grip and for the shoes, and came up with the waffle pattern sole that became the, you know, the basis for the original Nike running shoes. And so yeah, he was the co-founder of Nike, and
He was from Antelope.
he's from Antelope.
That's crazy.
Little Antelope.
How did you make that connection?
Well, I just read the Phil Knight book,
The Shoe Dog?
the Shoe Dog one, and I remember him talking about him going to Antelope, and Bill Bowerman would drive them through Antelope on one of their trips, you know, on one of their track trips, and then he would, you know, purposefully drive the bus through, just kind of show them where he was from. And so I remember, like, Antelope. But later on, that becomes a deal.
Oh, does it?
Well, do you think Bill Bowerman enjoyed those motherfuckers?
No.
Bill Bowerman's got millions of dollars in pull. So, like, you know, anyways.
Oh, I didn't. So he comes into the documentary.
Well, yeah, he was living there. He's from Antelope.
I didn't know he was still living
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I don't know he was actively living. But
Ties
he's from
there.
there. Yeah, like really close ties, like a family ranch or something. And so that he probably was living on. But yeah, it was like right next to the Rajneeshis. And but dude, fucking psycho, man. Like, you really realize like how there's such a fine line between like a religion and a cult.
Oh yeah.
It's
very
fine line, and it's not. I think
think
it's really gray.
It only becomes a cult. My distinction would be if you start having sex with everybody else's wives. That's when I think
That's where you.
That's when
okay, this is like what defines pooping in your pants.
That's what defines, you know, pooping in your pants.
Right.
When you start having sex, you mandate that you get to have sex with everybody else's wives. Then I think it officially becomes a cult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look that up on fucking Wikipedia.
That's
pretty good.
Might be a
distinction.
good definition, but yeah, it was. It's scary when you see like how and they, you know, people they don't realize it. You know, they think that they trust these people, and the people that are doing this don't even realize that they're doing it a lot of times. Like, you know, they're maybe fucking off their rocker, and it's crazy how things can snowball. Like, you get someone who's a little off his rocker with a cult of personality. You get a few people around him who are developing some power that they're getting through their association with him. And so now they have to protect him and their power, you know. And again, some people are like, that sounds like the Catholic Church, you know. I can't argue that. But there was some fundamental difference in with it, and maybe it is the sex with everybody's wives thing, that and maybe that's just our societal norm, an alternate universe in fucking universe C-138, where it's the opposite, man. Everybody has sex with everybody's wives, and like the crazy cults that tell you that you can only have sex with one woman.
Could be,
you know,
it very well could be.
But Anyways, that was if you get back in,
I will.
chance-
Dude, I love Colts. Like, they interest the shit out of me.
Ooh,
man.
yeah, this is Colt. Like, if you like Colts,
They really do. Like, I told you about that fucking weird billboard up in our town here, Grand Junction.
yeah. What's
Have
it
you-
called? The
SupremeMasterTV.com.
yes.
It's a
Yeah.
legit fucking thing. Like, you guys thought I was lying. Have you gone to their website yet?
I have not. I've not.
It's like,
They're gonna get like a dozen more hits now. 'Cause
oh,
of
go,
this.
yeah, maybe they'll. I still need to like subscribe to the newsletter to see what fucking going on.
Don't do that, man.
But yeah, some fucking Colt in our town's got a billboard up. Supreme Master TV.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're not even there's no shame in their game just to call it Supreme Master TV.
Well, there has to be a Supreme Master.
Exactly.
Who is he?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's the cult leader.
How do we find out?
That's what's so gangster about it. Like,
Yeah.
where the fuck? I'm the Supreme Master.
Yeah.
Here's my website, bitch.
Yeah.
Sign up for my email.
God, I know. It's like, it's weird. And again, like, not even, it just, where's that line fucking get crossed, man? It's a weird deal. So, yeah, Colts are fascinating.
People need their tribes, man.
This was a fascinating fucking story. This was like, very Waco-esque. But who knows, man? If the government would have just left him alone and let him just frickin' screw in peace, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But, so that was my nights. I'd go out fucking partying with trainers and then come home and watch
Wild Wild Country.
Watch Wild Wild Country and go to sleep and wake up the next day. Dude, it was hilarious. It was just fun. We weren't getting like real wild or anything. It was just hanging out, talking, right? A lot. And so was it Friday night? I ended up getting home, finally getting to sleep around like 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. And then like the first session was supposed to be at 8. And I said, fuck it. I looked at the lineup. I was like, there's nobody there who's getting me out of bed. So I finally got there a little after 9. It's feeling a little rough around the edges. And that was the afternoon we were doing I was doing my demo thing with old boy with the maces and the Indian clubs. And one dude stopped by and he was all like, oh wow, that looks cool. You guys are doing some stuff with the maces. That looks interesting. You mind if I watch? Which, eventually turned into, oh hey, let me give you some advice about that. And, how those things go.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, I grabbed the 25-pound mace because I wanted to show Tim, the guy that I was working with, like, you have to learn how to control the bounce. Like, I'm not using my muscles to get 25 pounds around. I have to use the bounce. And so I'm doing like a 10 and 2 with the mace, and I'm tired. I'm a little hungover. My stability probably wasn't the best, right? I didn't fall, you know what I mean? But there were just a few moments where like, I could just feel I had to catch myself just a little bit. And it was funny, the guy who's watching, he's all like, oh man, have you ever tried toe spacers? You know what I'm talking about, toe spacers?
No.
They literally have these things, and they're like, they fucking put them between your toes to space your toes. It's like people that have been wearing like regular shoes for a long ass time, and they literally like their foot gets deformed from it. Yeah, they basically think like those pedicure things.
Yeah, like toe wedges.
Toe wedges, yeah, right? So if you're getting like a pedicure, you just throw them in. But they're made so that you can put them in shoes so that you can wear them. If you finally get like good foot healthy shoes like the, or fucking, what do we wear? The Vivo Barefoot or something like that to help spread the toes out. He's like, I'm aware of them. And I'm like, well, no, I don't ever really wear shoes. I got those fucking Earth Runner sandals I wear everywhere. I barely ever wear shoes. And he's like, oh, well, they might help you out. You can put them on at night and just go to sleep and wake up. And he's like, because I was noticing, your stability there was a little off. And I was noticing how your big toe was touching your second toe there. And you weren't really getting it spread out like you could. And I was like, I think it might have to do with the fact that I'm fucking hungover, asshole. I didn't say that to him, but I'm just looking at him like, are you fucking shitting me right now? Like, my big toe is touching my second toe, and blah, blah, shut the fuck up. Like, I was like, no, I'm tired and I'm hungover. That will affect your stability too. Probably more than my big toe touching my second toe. Oh, which, yeah, it was one of those interesting moments where I'm like, dude, I want to take this mace and do something with it. Like, get the fuck out of here. But he meant well. So that was, but yeah, my big toe and my second toe are too close.
Maybe that's what you need to start wearing while you're doing jiu-jitsu is fucking toe spacers.
Dude, I'm going to show up to roll toe spacers on.
What would Kevin say?
Yes.
If you stepped on the mat with toe spacers?
With fucking toe spacers and fucking headgear on.
He would fucking beat you mercifully. Oh my god. The beating that would take place.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We're not knocking anybody wearing headgear. If you want to wear headgear so your ears don't get fucked up.
And you can wear headgear in our place too. You just have to be ready for the comments.
The ridicule.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
You should not succumb to peer pressure. I mean...
No, you shouldn't.
You know, do what you want to do. If we're going to make fun of you, then...
We're just going to make fun of you.
We're just going to make fun of you. Like, yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. Exactly. I forgot. Somebody asked me if they could wear headgear there. And I laughed and I was like... What do you mean? Is it like against the rules? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no, it's not against the rules. You can wear headgear. And he's like, why doesn't anybody do it? And I'm like, well, you know our coach, right? He's like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Do you remember who was asking? I want to know who was asking.
I don't, man. I want to say it was Shay. Che Guevara.
Che Guevara, not
Shay. Right. But yeah, I want to say it was him. I could be totally wrong. But, and again, Kevin does it in a loving way. Like, he knows who can take shit and who can't. And most of the people who train at Grand Valley, like, man, we just take it and dish it out all the time. So, but yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I was like, what do you mean, like it's against the rules? No, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta live with the comments.
You have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, I tried. I had headgear on for a bit and, like, honestly, it annoyed the fuck out of me.
It annoys me.
And
the first time I had to get my ear drained back when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I went through, dude, it was a very short phase, like a week with headgear.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just to protect my ear, and it was so goddamn annoying.
So annoying. And then your ear sweats like double time.
Yeah, and it just feels like it gets stuck in places. You know, your head gets stuck. It's fucking, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, so I decided to sacrifice my ears.
Oh.
I had a couple guys. I had one guy ask me if I did rugby.
Rugby players have a lot of cauliflower ear.
Yeah, I never realized that. I'm like, no. I was like, jiu-jitsu. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, that explains. He's like, that explains the grip. And he was like, your handshake. And I was like, I'm not even trying to, like, crush anybody's hand or anything, you know? But you fucking do a lot of work with maces, and you just, I guess your grip has a different feel.
It's strong.
Getting those collars and stuff, so, hell yeah. So, man, I got one more thing. I'm watching the Danaher back take thing. I'm halfway through it.
Digging it?
The back attack system. I am.
Good stuff?
I'm really digging it, yeah. But you know that you're in for an experience when the entire 8-part series begins with, let's begin with some general reflections on the back position. I shit you not, bro. This is how the whole thing starts.
You know who he reminds me of when you hear him talk? Have you ever... You know who Eckhart Tolle is, right?
Yeah,
The Power of Now or some shit.
Yeah.
I forget what his book... He's got a bunch of books.
Eckhart Tolle or whatever.
Eckhart Tolle, whatever his name is. Have you ever tried to listen to one of his audiobooks?
I've not. No, I've never heard him speak.
Okay.
I've read his shit, but never heard him speak.
Do me a favor.
Okay.
Just find it.
Try.
Go try to listen to an Eckhart Tolle or whatever audiobook, and then go listen to John Danaher. Just do it.
Okay.
You'll know exactly where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, that was, but anyways, it's a very in-depth, thorough, yeah, I got some stuff to try. He definitely calls some conventional wisdom into question, and he's got some very good rationales for it. But I think that the big difference is his whole system's based on the rear naked choke and not gi chokes, and that the rules are the same, but they can be slightly different with a gi choke compared to a rear naked. And so, yeah, and which I've found out the hard way. I mean, with a gi choke, if you fall to the right side, you've done a really good job defending the choke. Like, it's hard. It can be really hard for someone to finish a choke off if you get your head on, if you fall away from the attacking arm. But I've been there thinking I'm safe with someone attacking a rear naked and realized, like, wait a minute, I'm getting choked the fuck out on their supposedly weak side, on my supposedly strong side. So, like, what's up with that? So anyways, basically the video, or his system, it kind of expands on that whole thing right there. Like, yeah, this whole idea of weak side, strong side is a little bit of a misnomer. It's just an overside and underside, and then you have a system for getting where you want to be based on which side you're on. But there's some advantages to being on either. So yeah, I'm really interested to try some of it out.
That's good.
Yeah.
So does he show back takes or just back retention and attacks?
He talks about taking people's back from turtle because he's real big on the arm trap. Like, reminds me a lot of the shit you try to do.
Like top control, like I call the underside arm and the wrist control.
No. The leg.
Using your leg.
Using your leg to trap. Like, his whole thing. Again, he's got some really good points, right? Like, he calls it the deficit problem. And his thing is that when you get on someone's back, they have three things to defend with. They've got both hands and they've got their chin. Like we've talked about before, like your chin isn't a defense, but it is part of a good defense.
It is a defense.
It is part of the defense. You can use your chin and shoulder to help defend what's happening. And so you've got three things, and at the most, they've got two. But usually, because you've got one underhook that it's not an attacking hand, you've only got one hand that you're trying to attack with. And they've got, 2 to 3 things they're trying to defend with. So the whole thing is trying to overcome that deficit problem. And how do you get it to where you're going for an uncontested strangle, where it's just your hand against their chin, which that's where the fucking, that's not a defense. At that point, you're in trouble. But yeah, it's all about trying to get to that point and then strangling them out. So, but yeah, so his thing is trying to pin that arm. So I remember we were doing this in class the other day, like some moves from turtle to where you scrape the arm and then roll. So it's not rolling into a crucifix, but you're rolling into the back with the arm already pinned. And so he likes to do that for if you're falling to the quote unquote strong side. Because yeah, it's but anyways, that's about as far as I've gotten. I'm about halfway through it, and he's got some subsystems and shit that I had to just stop. I was like, dude, my head was swimming after like 4 hours because I was set up at the airport for 2 hours straight, just watching videos, looking like a weirdo, and with my computer just furious. I got like 5 pages of notes off of that shit, and so yeah, but it's some good stuff, man. I'd recommend if anyone's on the fence about checking that out. Like, I think it's highly worth it. But he definitely has a specific speech pattern and way of explaining things, which is, I had to hit the speed up. He's perfect at about 1.5 times speed, and then it's like, okay, at full speed. I was having to watch him on my phone on the plane at full speed, and it's just enough. Pauses between thoughts here and there where you're like, come on, man, just get to the good shit, dude. Just spit it out. Which, again, I'm not complaining. I actually enjoy listening to him talk, but when I'm trying to get through 8 hours of fucking video that I'm trying to learn from, I'm like, yeah, man, I want to get through this stuff. So, but yeah, it's I'm very.
He's an interesting cat, man.
He is. He thinks about things very deeply.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'm going to be getting on people's backs, trying some things out, got some new toys to play with.
So that should be your jiu-jitsu focus. To the back and strangle. To the back and strangle. To the back and strangle.
He likes that rotation, too. Like, that was the other thing. Like, he likes the rotational finish instead of the compression finish. Like, even, so, like, like, we were doing, like, that. He's like you do that from the rear naked too, which to me makes the rear naked way more accessible, because I've talked about this before. Like, one of my big problems with finishing rear naked chokes is that my elbows literally don't fucking bend past a certain point. So for me, the compression finish where I'm trying to take up space, to choke, it's really hard. Like I literally run out of fucking elbow room. But dude, I can fucking rotate and turn, get a good cranky, choke against the neck that way. But his whole thing was like trying to recreate the power of a gi choke with your rear naked. And so he's saying, both's valuable, but he's like, that's how his athletes are able to put people out like so quickly. Like when GSP was fighting Michael Bisping, he's like, that's how he finishes the choke. It's not a compression choke, and that's why people go out so quickly, because it's fucking vicious, man. I mean, I fucking hate that one, man. When Kevin fucking finishes me off with like a rotational finish from a rear naked position, like, God, that's just horrible.
Comes on fast.
Yeah, it comes on fast, man. So there's nothing you can do. Like, you're tapping. Like, that's his whole thing too. He's like, the primacy of chokes. Like, you're not tough guying your way out of a choke. You can tough guy your way out of a fucking leg lock. You can tough guy your way out of an arm bar. Which, by the way, I've got this little fucking rant. Like, this whole thing, leg locks don't work. This is nonsense. You could say arm bars don't work. Like, if you read...
Who says leg locks don't work?
It's this fucking hashtag on Insta Media. You got Vinny, Magalish, and, you got a whole crew out there saying, like, leg locks don't work. Because if you have someone who's willing to eat pops, like, they're going to eat pops. Well, you can make the same argument about arm bars, right? There's a fucking the match with Jean-Jacques ate the fucking arm, and he's wrestling with his arm and thing. It's like, so you can make that argument about any joint lock. So,
joint lock's a joint lock.
Yeah. You run up against a tough guy, and it's not going to work. But that's where the chokes come in. Nobody's out tough guying a choke.
Passing out.
Right.
You need blood to the brain.
And that's his whole thing. He's like, even over leg locks, that's why he favors the back. He's like, man, if you can get to the back and you can strangle someone, that's the optimum thing. You should always be looking for that as an option. And so, it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. No one is out tough guying a fucking good blood choke.
Nope.
So, I remember that when you're on the mats, buddy. So yeah, man, there you go. That's all the notes I got from
I didn't
Long
have
Beach.
any notes. I was shooting from the hip.
Just shooting from the hip, yeah.
Ready to compete, man. Headed out tomorrow morning. I fly out to Vegas tomorrow morning.
Dude.
I moved up a weight class, so my weight's good.
Comfortable.
I can eat. Comfortable. I'm going to go home and eat. I ate a little bit already today. Go home and eat again. Yeah, I don't have to stress about it. Yeah, I might be a little small for this weight class, but fuck it, I don't care. Mentally, I'm better.
That's right.
I'm not struggling to...
Yeah.
I'm not suffering and struggling. Like...
Yep.
Fuck it. I think that's more important to me.
Yeah, I mean, mental state. I'd rather be fresh than...
I don't need to deplete myself and sweat it out. Like, it's fucking absurd, man.
Yeah.
Why am I doing it?
Yeah, your goal is to step on the mat as fresh and healthy as possible.
Yep, exactly.
And
if that means I'm weighing with my gi on, I'm guessing I'll be 165-ish.
Yeah.
At the heaviest. The cutoff's 168. So, I'm going to be on a little small side, but I'm good, man. Like,
yeah.
I'll feel good. I'll get to eat the night before, and I'm going at like...
Learned your lesson. That last one.
I think I'm competing Thursday at like 11:30 or something.
Nice.
So yeah, man, wake up and fucking get after it, and then eat like a champ.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Fucking A, man. I know. And the girls are going.
I'm gonna go get a big old pizza Thursday night.
Yeah. I know. Keely's she's going.
They go, Blue Belt
Friday.
chicks all go on Friday. And then Angela's going on Saturday.
Lone purple belt.
Lone purple belt we got.
Going on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we didn't quite get the contingent there this year. We got there last year. But
yeah, we had quite a few people compete last year. This year's, for some reason, just didn't pan out.
Yeah, different seasons, man. It's tough.
Maybe shoot for next year.
Yeah, that's good. Good yearly goal.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun event, man. It's a big-ass tournament.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm bummed I'm not going to be able to go see Keely compete.
Lion Hurricane's looking strong, dude.
I know. She's looking real good.
Adam and I were talking about that training yesterday. Like, hey, it's like, man, she's one of those chicks now. We got to whoop her ass when we wrestle with her. Like, there's not a whole lot of being nice to her.
No.
Like, you got to kind of fucking whoop her ass.
Dude, sure. Her biggest enemy with us is still her, because you can still just fuck with her. And she'll, like, think that you know something that she doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, because she doesn't realize like how good she's gotten, and so there's still that little bit of like, oh, I know these guys are just letting me do something or whatever. So yeah, it's but yeah, she's at this point she's her own worst enemy.
Hey, we all have that.
Oh, for sure.
At some point in time.
For sure, yeah.
You know, and it's funny, it's like she's getting to the point now where she's like, if she hasn't realized it yet, she will. And everybody kind of gets to that point. It's like, you start getting good enough to where the higher, your higher ranked training partners, you're like, why are they being so mean to me? It's because you're getting good.
Yeah.
We got to stop playing nice.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Once your higher ranked training partners like really start cross facing the shit out of you and doing things they normally didn't used to do when you were learning, that's a sign to you like, no, they're not being meaner.
No.
They're just doing a little bit more. They're doing a little bit better jiu-jitsu on you to fucking simmer you down.
Yeah.
Because you're getting better.
Getting better, man. Can't get in as deep.
That's the problem. Like, when you get better, it just ensues more ass whoopings.
Dude, she gets those double sleeve grips set, and it's just, like, a pain in the ass. Like, I've had to do some mean things to my own wife to get away from her, man. I'll be sitting there for, like, 30, 45 seconds. Like, one time she swept me in front of Kevin, and I was oh, God damn it, man. Now I gotta get her. So, anyways, I love you, baby. I'm sorry. But you make me do it.
Yep.
So, that's what I tell people when I give them the Teddy Roosevelt when they're doing some stupid shit. I'm like, you're making me do this
This
right
is your
now.
own fault.
This is your own fault.
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
This hurts you more than it hurts me. That's the point. So, right on, man.
That's all I got, man.
That's all I got, too.
We go home and eat, train again tonight.
Yeah. That was a good
next time I'll be on the mats. I'll be competing.
Yeah. I know. I'm ready to go in and train tonight. I got a bunch of energy to burn. I'm feeling too good.
It's been a few days since you got to train, huh?
Yeah, Wednesday. So, I flew out Thursday. So, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So almost a week.
Yeah, today's 5 days. For me, that's an eternity.
That's a long time.
It's a long time for not training. I know. Itching to get in there. So, do a little Pohada.
Fuck yeah.
I'll be your guys' battle dummy.
Let's scrap.
Some scrapping. All right, well, that's it. I guess we'll sign off and go do our thing and catch up with everybody next week.
See you.
See you.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
Down clown with a permanent rep, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy outside Molly dude. Melancholy Daisy Duke, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped in your face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, in times two, no clue. But soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near beware there's consequences for what you do. To me, demon, a devil of many levels. I keep on feeding for several of them rebels. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.